Welcome to Framework Fortune and welcome back Framework Fortune community. I'm your host Ben and it's time for the last rip where we take a look at top gainers on the day, recap any trades I took, and take a look at any swing trades that may be popping up or that I'm already holding. So if you haven't yet, maybe think about subscribing, hitting that little red and white button to support the Framework Fortune community and come join us. If H&H Trader is not back by tomorrow, he will be back by Monday. So look forward to him getting back with us and rocking for some trades. But let's not waste any more time and dive right in. The SPY having a rebound at the beginning of market, but then selling off pretty hard the rest of the day. We got this indecision yesterday, followed by a red candle down today. There's not really any support right here except for that 450, and we're closing below it. So we very easily could see the drop down to 440 to this 50-day for a correction. Looking like it's almost inevitable as the SPY is now on a downtrend and the DIA still on a downtrend. The DIA has actually come down to the 50-day and is looking pretty bearish. Below the 10-day, tried to push up but got rejected at the 10-day. And it just looks like it's about to fall. Just a lot of open space down between that 200-day. So I traded OPAD, just a small little bit of shares, looking for it to break. Most of these trades I took were all uptrends. It had been pushing up on the daily chart, looking very bullish as the 10-day was starting to pull away from these other EMAs, but got halted, and that's what caught my attention. I believe somebody called this out. I think it was Jamie Kratt. So good look there, calling OPAD out as it was getting halted. I waited for it to come back down. Saw a little push back up, starting to get a curl. Red indecision candle, followed by a bullish green candle. So as soon as this started pushing up, I got in there 10 shares at 1483, looking for the break of 15, and it did break 15. Ran up to 16. I didn't lock anything out because it was only 10 shares. It would have been about a $10 win. We've been seeing plays that are moving slowly across the whole day and having big breakouts. So I decided just to put a stop loss on it and let it ride this trend line. So when it cracked, I got stopped out there. A little $5 loss, no big deal. Wasn't any news on this, but the catalyst I was looking at was this bullish daily chart and a new IPO and that uptrend. Now, I took a trade on RKLD. This one had some action. It had some good PR, getting the price target raised, several things like that happening. It had a nice run up at market open, came back down, and then when it started pushing up, basically almost the same play as that other one when it started curling up. We got a red indecision candle followed by a bullish green candle. So I jumped in there at 1870 as it was pushing. And then it got rejected at 19. And when it started dropping below the 40 DMA, I had to get out there. Took a 860 loss on this. But just like I was saying, we've seen the rips continue throughout the day. So it continued to climb. I did hop in 10 more shares later in the evening at 2014 for this swing because this news was really good because it was a multi-launch deal to deploy entire IoT satellite constellation for another company. That's definitely a very valuable thing and expensive thing that RKLD is going to make a lot of money off of. So it did push up to 2134, but I'm still holding because it's only 10 shares. I think it could very easily climb. It held all of its gains. I mean, this did not give back anything. It opened at 1585, ran up to 2134, and closed at 2035. So nice sideways consolidation, holding above all the EMAs, holding above the VWAP. And the 200 almost caught up to the VWAP. So I think we're going to see this try to make another move tomorrow. It could have a little pullback. Now, GEVO, this one was some very good PR. So I had to hop in it. I didn't get as many shares as I want. But they got a fuel investment plan with Chevron. Anytime a penny stock does business with a big company, they're going to get some action. So I was looking for it to break this line because this was a tough line of support for this stock for most of the year back through here, and I knew it was going to be resistance. So it broke through. I waited for that confirmation of the break because we had a pullback there, tested it, and then came back up. So I got in on this third candle, and I've been holding that 30 shares. We got all the way up to 827. I'm still holding it though because we never gave anything back. We stayed above the VWAP the whole entire time, looking very bullish and above all EMAs on the daily chart. Now I did get an EVNB this morning. Had a nice little run in pre-market, pulling back down almost to the 200, and then got a little wonky, shooting straight up to 360, pulled back down to 340, and same exact play, waiting for that pullback, starting to get a curl. Now I got in a little bit later on this one. Didn't get in right away, but saw this candle start pushing up to break 350, so I jumped in there 50 shares. Did pop up to 370, and I put a stop loss in, but I forgot to change my position size from the 10 shares on RKLD, and I put a stop loss in. Only sold 10, but this thing actually held up, so I still have 40 shares, and you can see it's up to 375 in after hours, currently right around the 365 area, but looks like it's going to close above this 200, which means it'll be above all EMAs. So I'm expecting that to possibly continue to climb tomorrow. And then GROY, this is one that wasn't getting a ton of action, but is a gold company and didn't have much PR today, but it's been having some PR recently. Getting some nice volume climbing in pre-market. So I waited for that same pattern, same thing, waiting for the little pop up at the beginning of the market, dropped down, started curling back up. This one though couldn't break, but it didn't drop that hard. I had my stop loss in, and it ended up holding above 490. So it hasn't really moved much, but it did climb up to 526 in after hours. So I am positive on this one going into tomorrow. So we'll see if all these swing holds that were basically trades that turned into swings are going to continue. Just strong closes on them all, and they just never gave me a reason to sell any of them. But that's all the trades I took for today. So look at the top 10% NASDAQ gainer list. We got RKLD on there, GEVO on there, CURV I didn't see, but I don't really like this. You see it ran right in that 200 and that 50-day and just got stopped right there. So it could have a pullback tomorrow. Nothing really there I'd be concerned with, and not much else going on. So let's take a look at this swing trade list. We got RHE first, and I am swinging this on Webull. Bought it yesterday in after hours. Has had a little pullback, but I'm in at like 913, so not a big deal. Looking at it on the daily chart, the 50-day is right there, right where I'm at, 913. That's why I got in it, looking for that support to hold. So I think tomorrow or the next day we could see a little pop off of RHE. Today I got a 1.7 million shares in volume. Yesterday I think I got 500,000. The day before I got 300,000. So buying volume's been slowly coming back into RHE. So I do like that one. SGRP. Haven't touched this one yet, but still not looking bad. Just consolidating right now, climbing up this trend line. Socket pretty much still going sideways. Hasn't really made a move either way yet. Looks like it's starting to hold in a channel between $6.75 and $7, maybe $7.10. So no definite movement. AATC is up 1.6% today. See it on a daily chart, still just slowly climbing up. This one I may start looking for an entry on this one tomorrow. Not getting very much volume, but there's still little bits of buying, just slowly pushing this thing up to this resistance line. We just keep inching closer and closer every day, which I like that. I like that slow of a move. Looks like it's going to try to build up for a decent breakout. And then CLWT up 5% today. Had a little pullback there, but bouncing off of that trend line. So if you did happen to catch this off of the trend line, up that 340-350 area, you're looking pretty good there. That possible move back up to 4. And that's all I've got on the swings right now. I am swinging Annie on Webull. I bought Annie yesterday in after hours on Webull at 7. It ran up to 760 today, but still climbing on this trend line, staying above $7. Looking like it may try to have another move up tomorrow. So I do have a few shares of that on Webull, and I'll start showing you guys my Webull account since I'm swing trading a little bit more than normal. Now I am going to continue to day trade. It just so happens to be that a lot of these positions just never gave me a reason to sell them, so they turned into swing trades. Now, I'm not bag holding. I'm green on all of them. Biggest reason that I'm leaning more towards swing trading is because that's where we're seeing some of the easier plays at. A lot of times during the mornings in this choppy market, we are only seeing these quick little pops up and then the stock's dropping back off. And it's kind of hard to pick which stock is going to be the one because we're getting these little pops on everything with volume. My current strategy right now in these market conditions that I was doing today and that I'm starting to do is to go smaller share size but hold longer. Because if I go smaller share size, I can risk a little bit more. I can give the stock a little bit more wiggle room and take multiple positions of those share sizes. As long as I'm right 2 out of the 4 positions, it should be a nice profitable day. And if one of these rips really big on a swing, then that should work out pretty good too. Until we get back into a pretty clean day trading market, that's what I'm going to be leaning towards. So I'm only going to be looking for stocks above all the EMAs on the daily chart, stocks with good PR or some type of really good catalyst. Not decent PR, but really good PR like RKLD and GEVO type good PR. But that's pretty much it for today's last rip. We'll be back tomorrow morning, Friday morning, for some live trading to see what the market brings and see how everything opens, whether we're going to have another pullback across the market or not. Appreciate everybody joining me as always. Stay safe out there. Until next time.